Hello again, dear friends and anti-novelists. We are tackling Act 3 in our plot points so we can make some decisions about how do we want to get past the midpoint and into Act 4. So after the midpoint, your character has stepped into being some kind of hero or warrior. They've gone out of being reactive and into being proactive in their story and in their life. So what kinds of things can you have in Act 3? Well, I've got a mirror moment, formulating a plan of attack, and some kind of crucial role or critical role. Those are from Derek Murphy's Plot Dot, but I've also added challenges and temptation, bad guys are closing in, and experiencing perhaps a dark night of the soul. And then I've got a critical clue or discovery takes place as you get towards the middle of Act 3. Whatever critical clue or discovery this is must not be a coincidence. It needs to be something on purpose that shows your character being competent and confident. Readers love competent characters. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that when I get over to kinds of plot. But suffice it to say, if they can figure something out here, put together some major pieces, readers love that. This is where we reach the second battle, which is the second major confrontation with whoever the antagonist is. We're going to show the antagonistic force, right? We're going to start to really reveal who our bad guys are so that your readers know who we're fighting. There's a direct conflict, there's a surprise failure. I've got epiphany or big change. And then I've got some kind of shocking revelation or some kind of conflict that causes your main character to lose. It really serves your story if, as you get to the end of Act 3, breaking into Act 4, your character experiences some kind of major loss, major setback, something that really knocks them on their behind, because that's going to give them the impetus. It's going to put them into the ashes from which they will rise in Act 4, and it's going to make their triumph that much more powerful for your reader. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into Act 4 so we can wrap it up. As you're coming into Act 4, past the 75% point, into the rest of the story, you're going to experience your character is giving up. They're thinking, I can't possibly win. I can't beat these odds. And they're going to have to make a choice. Either they're going to wimp out and wither away, and that's where they're going to die psychologically. That would be psychological death stakes. Or they're going to take up the sword. They're going to have a pep talk, touch base with the mentor. They're going to have that touch point that gives them the power to power through. And that's where they're really going to step up. That's where they're going to experience their final incident, their transformation, and whatever their ultimate victory or climax is. In the last few chapters of the book, you have declining action. You have your main character or characters reacting to their triumph, to their accomplishment, reflecting on the story. You're wrapping up the story's themes. You're wrapping up the character's arc. They've made their transformation and landed where you wanted them to. They're collecting their rewards, and punishments are being eked out for the bad guys. And they've gotten their answer. Whatever the answer is to the dramatic question, this is where you're answering that for the reader so that the reader understands we've come full circle and this character has triumphed and we're at the end. Always remember, this is the point at which you would place a cliffhanger or a clue or a hook into the next book if you're writing a multi-book series. This is where you're going to gather up some of those story threads and place the cookies that will lead your reader into the second book. Ideally, you want it to be dynamic. You want it to be just as powerful of a hook as you offered in the offering back at the beginning of this book, because that way your reader is compelled to go right into that next story as soon as it's available and to continue on in the series. If this is a single book and this is the end, always show your character existing in their new world. Your reader has gone on this journey with you to get this character into their new reality. So make sure that you wrap that up with a bow and show your character reaching their goal and living satisfied and happily ever after in their new world, if it's a positive character arc. If you're writing a negative character arc, obviously you're going to show them having lost everything. Often the last scene is the character just walks away because ultimately they're defeated. But those are things for you to decide. So Now we've covered a lot of the meat and potatoes that goes into all 4 acts and breaking them down into their component parts. So in the next video, we will continue on through breaking down the possible story bites and how you can employ those to further your own story. So get those words on the page, keep stressing out your characters and throwing conflicts at them, keep gaming out ways to challenge them and push them forward, and get that stuff on the page because it won't stay in your head forever. I will see you in the next video.